So I chose to do the assignment about the different tools for setting and tracking goals because I thought this would be a perfect assignment for me because I'm one of those people that downloads apps like this with the intent of using them, and I use them for a day and then never use them again. So I thought I'd give some of these tools a try. The three that I chose were the Giant Post-it Notes, the Way of Life app, and the AnyDo app. So first I'll start with the AnyDo app because that was the least favorite out of my three. There were a couple things that I did like about it. I like lists. I really like to make lists. I have them all over the place at work, not just in the office, just everywhere. People find them in the cooler, in the freezer, by the coffee station. So I like that on this app you can make endless lists and you can cross things off, and it's like interactive, and that was one thing I liked about it. I also like that you can sync it with Siri and you can sync it with your calendar. So that's pretty convenient, but also pretty standard with a lot of apps. So a lot of apps are able now to sync with your calendar if it's something where the app uses events and things like that. So in general, I just don't like this app. Like I said, I did have a couple of things I liked about it, but in terms of getting you to track your goals, I don't really see what features it has that just a basic iPhone doesn't have. I can make a list on my iPhone under the Notes feature, and I can rate it in terms of importance just like I can on this app, and I can rate it long term and short term just like I can on this app too, or professional and personal. And obviously, if I'm making a list on my notepad on my phone, it's synced with my calendar and it's synced with Siri. So the one thing that I noticed about this app is that I could not find anything that it's offering me that my phone isn't already offering me on its own without the app. So I don't really see what this app would do to motivate me to track my goals if my smartphone isn't already motivating me to track my goals. So the next one is the Way of Life app. So this one I have a lot more positive things to say about. Now with both apps, there is the downside, I have to say. With the AnyDo app and the Way of Life app, you have to obviously pay to get the full version of them. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay for the full version of it, so I'm only seeing a portion of it. But what I really like about the Way of Life app is that there's a lot of graphs and statistics that go along with tracking your goal. So I obviously, because I'm not doing this over the span of a year, there's not as much data in there. But if you just look at the tutorial, it shows you that if you were to be tracking this just on a daily basis, just doing something as simple as pressing the button and saying, yes, I drank 6 glasses of water. Yes, I took my dog for a walk today, or skipped that today. And after it has enough data in there, you can see all these graphs. It has percentages and trends and all these different statistics and analyses of not just how close you are to achieving your goal or just tracking your goal, but also maybe different habits associated with it. Like, you tend to skip a day after you've been working out these 3 days. So I just thought that was a really cool app because it has all these different statistics and infographics and things like that you can see on there. And I have a lot of background with statistics, so that's something that I really like. And if you're someone who likes to see things visually, this is a really good app, and it would really help you track your goals. It's very simple to do. Like I said, you just put something in, it gives you suggested goals, or you can put your own in, and then you just put in there, yes, I did it today, no, I didn't do it today, or skipped it that day. And then if you want, you can write a little note to go along with it, and it does the rest of the work for you. If you want to add more information, you can, but it does the rest of the goal tracking for you. And it's just, so I think it's great. I think it's a great way, and it's a great way to visually track your goals and actually see your progress on there. So definitely highly recommend that app. And so then the final tool that I chose for setting and tracking goals is Giant Post-it Notes. So this is not an app. This is just an old school giant, as the article says, 2-foot square Post-it notes that you can buy at office supply stores. We don't use these as much around my office. I guess the equivalent of it would be a whiteboard. We use a lot of those around my office. That is one of the best ways to track your goals. And this is how I track my goals on a daily basis. On a daily basis, I have a giant whiteboard too in addition to my tiny little notes that I have written around everywhere. I also have my own whiteboard that I bought and set up for myself in the office, and each day I write on there everything, whether it's ordering and checking inventory down to detailing and dusting the vents in the cooler. And it's just being able to, check it off a list really helps. Just makes me feel like I've really accomplished something, even though I still accomplished it without checking off a list. I really enjoy getting across it off or something. Now you may be wondering, how is this different than the AnyDo app? Because I was so against that. And that's an app where you get to cross things off a list. Well, that's because it's no different than my phone. So this is very different from my phone, because this is a physical whiteboard where I can check everything off for the day. So I'm always a huge proponent of having physical notes in front of you to prepare for the day, and especially maybe in an office setting, something that says the daily goals, the weekly goals, and then maybe even monthly goals. So that's just something that I think never goes out of style, so to speak. It'll always be useful in any office setting. But the takeaway from this is the Way of Life app is a great app, and I think that everyone should at least give it a chance if you are really looking for an app to track your goals, because it's easy and it's fun to use and look at the data afterwards.